Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome to the October channel update video. A couple things that I should talk about. More in this one than I did in the September one, which was just kind of pushed out because there was nothing really to talk about. So, first thing I want to go and mention is that for those of you guys that did not see my post on Patreon, which I'm sure is pretty much all of you, except maybe a couple of people, and I think I shared that post on Google Plus and I think Facebook as well, but I don't actually recall exact off the top of my head. But nonetheless, I've decided to end that series, or well, not end. So I've decided to scrap it, and I will restart it once Rights of Man has been released and once the mod has been updated for Rights of Man. Reason being, well, frankly, I think they're making quite a number of changes in Rights of Man that it's probably better to start a new game rather than try to continue an already started one. And while things were just then starting to look up, I guess is the best way to describe it, it still wasn't all that great. So I decided I'll just go ahead and restart from scratch once Rights of Man has been released, and of course, again, once the mod has been updated for it. And so that series is, for the time being, effectively on hiatus, depending on how you want to phrase it. I mean, it's canceled as it stands right now, but it'll be started up again once I have the time. And also, hopefully, around that time, I will be more accurately able to actually stream it every week like I would, or like I was originally planning. But we'll see. Next thing I want to go and mention is that I went through the process over on PayPal to set up a more traditional PayPal donations thing. Of course, there's no requirement to do so, but it is there. If you guys enjoy the content, it is a way of helping to support it because, well, it's a hell of a lot better than the ad revenue that you get from YouTube. Because I'm looking at something like about $8-9 a month or so from YouTube. Yeah, you don't get a whole lot from ads. It gets better towards the end of the year because of the holidays, but it's still, at the end of the day, pretty crappy overall. And of course, there's really not much you can do about that. More views helps, of course, and likes and shares do help to contribute to getting more views, but at the end of the day, the amount you're getting per view is still the same. It's just you're getting more of them, which helps to offset the limited amount that you get. So, I mean, yeah. So, like I said, overall, it's not a whole lot. Like I said, $8-9, sometimes 10. And then towards the end of the year, maybe it'll go over 10. But nonetheless, like I said, it's pretty crappy overall. And there's not too much that can be done about it. So, yeah. Like I said, I set that up, so it is there. There's no requirement to do it, but it is appreciated because it is, as I said, better than the ad revenue. And of course, that gives me more money that I can spend on doing things for the channel, like buying better hardware if need be, to be able to go and play more modern games, though my current hardware, at the end of the day, mostly suffices for the resolution that I play at. But if I wanted to go and, for example, upgrade my monitor to a 1440p monitor, I'm kind of out of luck in that regard with my current GPU because, well, 390, to my knowledge, kind of struggles with 1440p. And, of course, some people might say, well, then why not upgrade it? I don't have the money to upgrade it. So, yeah. That's just the way it is. I mean, sure, I would love to go out and buy a GTX 1080, but that's like a $600 some odd card. If I recall correctly, it's about that. I haven't looked at it all recently, but I'm pretty sure it's sitting roughly around there. So, that's out of the question at the end of the day. And so, yeah. But also, so PayPal is set up, and I mean, you have the option to set it to a recurring monthly donation if you wanted to, but If you wanted to do a recurring monthly donation, then I would say you may just want to go ahead and use Patreon. They both accomplish more or less the same things. But granted, the PayPal one has a donation cap of about $10,000 total for me. After that, I'd have to tell PayPal how the money is spent. And because in theory, their donation thing is set up to where it's primarily for nonprofits, but of course it's not used by just nonprofits. And so, because of this, kind of losing my train of thought here because I don't have a script or anything. I've just got some bullet points down. But yeah, so I'd much prefer if you're going to do something that's monthly, just go through Patreon. If you want to do small, or well, maybe not small, but larger infrequent donations, then sure, go and use PayPal. But for smaller monthly donations, I'd say use Patreon. And at least with Patreon, some of the tiers that I have set up there actually get rewards, which is not the same. PayPal gets nothing. PayPal's just donating because you feel like it. Patreon, you can at least, if you select the right tiers, actually get something from it. Granted, it's nothing spectacular for most of them. I mean, first one is 24-hour early access when possible to my normal videos, i.e. Chaos Head, Star Trek Online, Tom Clancy's End War, American Civil War Brothers vs. Brothers, which is so far the only one I've actually had the time to go and post up 24 hours before it normally would go live. And then I've got a tier right above that one, so that's the $1 tier. I got a $5 tier that is all that same stuff, but it gives you also 24-hour early access to Vehicles of War Thunder, which I want to mention. I fixed the issue where I wasn't able to record War Thunder, so there will be a Vehicles of War Thunder episode in October, or at least that is the plan, barring something strange coming up that makes it so I can't. But the plan is at least that I will be able to go and actually put up a Vehicles of War Thunder in October, since I fixed the issue. Which I'm guessing Gaijin at some point changed something in the config file for the game in one of their updates that ended up removing a line of, well, just a line in the config file that went and actually allowed things like DxTory or Bandicam or hell even Fraps to go and actually hook onto the game to record it. But I managed to fix that after some searching, so that is there. I am now capable of doing that. In fact, I've already recorded all the footage I think I'm going to end up using for October's episode. And then we got some other tiers above the $5 tier over on Patreon. One of them, you get a mug. Yeah, nothing spectacular. It's a mug with my channel logo on it. And then there's a tier, I think, right below that one, between that and the Vehicles of War Thunder one that is, it gives you a poster, which is kind of meant to look like a blueprints sheet of the various vehicles that I cover, and essentially you would get one each month that I do an episode, which in theory it's supposed to be an episode each month, but that doesn't happen. But yeah, so, and I think I have a $40 a month tier, which I'll admit is a bit of a high price, but you get all the same stuff as the tiers below it, but you get the added bonus that I would basically go and throw up your name on the side of my case. But I think that one I have limited to like 10 people or something, because, well, one, if it were to ever happen, it ain't gonna happen, I'm sure, but if it were to ever happen, I do have limited space. Moving on, because I don't have really anything else to mention beyond, hey, yeah, I've still got that Patreon, and it's a way for you guys to do monthly donations if you enjoy the content, and it's monthly, unlike PayPal, which is going to be, well, generally speaking, I assume singular donations, if, of course, there are any that come through there at all, but it's there as an option. Both of those are there as options.
Distant order markers. Click the right mouse button on
Moving on, yesterday on September 29th, I went through the process of setting up a Redbubble or something like that. I don't remember actually. I think that's their name. Yeah, Redbubble. Well, it's basically just set up. like I mentioned before, I got the Vehicles of War Thunder posters as rewards. Those I would be buying in bulk through Vistaprint and then shipping out to you guys. Which is why actually that reward tier is cheaper, I think, than buying the posters yourself through Redbubble, which I just set up. Yeah. To get the Vehicles of War Thunder posters via Vistaprint is the plan, at least. It's $15 a month, $15 US a month. While if you wanted to go and actually buy the posters yourself, then you are going to be spending... Oh, actually it's a little bit cheaper. You'd be spending at least $13.61 on the small poster, and for the medium, small is 23.2 inches by 15 inches, or you can buy the medium, which is 33.1 inches by 21.4 inches. That costs, rounded up to $22. So, yeah. Okay. I might have to rethink where I buy the posters from, especially since I don't have to pay the extra. I don't have to pay essentially the commission or whatever. Although I do have other things there. I've got a hardcover journal, which I can throw a picture up if you want. And, well, no point in asking if you guys want, because you're going to be needing to... You'd either have to go there yourself to see it. So I'll just go ahead and throw it up. Assuming I can even manage to actually properly take the picture, because I did tell it to go and throw up an clear image over top of the actual images so that people couldn't download them. Okay, I might have to temporarily disable that and then re-enable it. Nonetheless, I'll be throwing up a picture at some point during this conversation showing you what the hardcover journal looks like with the blueprint thing, and I think it actually looks pretty good. And I may end up buying one for myself at some point. But there are a bunch of things there. They got a metal print that you could buy. Very pricey. Of course, it's $58 for the small, and ooh, if you wanted the extra large, which is 40 inches by 25.9, it's $285. Jesus Christ. But yeah, nonetheless, so that Redbubble thing is there. The only things that are going to be going up there for the most part are probably just going to be my the Vehicles of War Thunder posters, and then of course I'll allow it to post essentially that image that I use for the posters onto a bunch of other, or a couple of other items. So yeah, that's there. If you guys wanted to go and buy your own posters rather than subscribe to the Patreon. Still got the spread shirt. Nobody uses it, but I still got it. It's there in case anybody ever decides they want to go and purchase some merchandise that I design, although I'll admit it's not great because I'm not a graphics artist at all. I suck at art stuff. And so, yeah. I should have probably mentioned this in case none of you figured it out already. The footage in the background is Battlefield 2142. It is from the, what do they call it? I think they call it Battlefield 2142 Revive. Yeah, that looks to be it. Or at least close enough to what they call it. But it's essentially just reviving Battlefield 2142. And considering EA didn't give a crap when these guys did the same thing with Battlefield 2, I think it's safe to say EA probably won't give a crap about the 2142 Revive that they did. It's got a decent player base looking at it. As of, well, 2 minutes ago for me recording this, it has a player base of 226 players in game. The peak looks to have been 735 on September 28th, because it only allows me to go back 24 hours right now. Okay, that's not, maybe not necessarily true. Yeah, that's not necessarily true. The peak is actually 855 players in game within the past week.
Walk up to the ladder to climb.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it does have a decent amount of players. I mean, it's not a massive amount, but it's decent. You can get a good number of servers filled with the current player base. And that's just for 2142. They've also got regular old Battlefield 2, which has a substantially larger. Their all-time peak appears to be 1087. So again, quite a number of people playing. You can get a bunch of servers filled with that. So, yeah, and as I said, since EA apparently didn't give a crap about them doing this with Battlefield 2, I think it's safe to say they probably won't really give a crap about them doing it with 2142. And so, I will have a link in the description to their webpage. You do have to create an account to download, but as long as you do that, you'll be able to go ahead and actually go and relive Battlefield 2142. And of course, I should mention, I'm currently playing single player, not the actual multiplayer, so I'm playing matches against bots while I try and learn the controls. Well, not necessarily learn the controls, but rather set the controls up to the way I want them to be. And I will say this, the bots are actually pretty decent. I mean, they're not geniuses, but they're actually decent. They managed to put up a bit of a fight, but they do sometimes do stupid shit like that, which kind of reminds you of people that don't know how to play a game and are playing it for the first time ever. But beyond that, it's the way it's pretty good. The bots are decent. I haven't been able to play Titan mode, which to my understanding is the big mode people really liked about this game. But that's simply because, again, I'm playing only against bots so far, and, well, they have it set up to where it's only ever normal conquest. Well, not necessarily normal conquest, but it doesn't have Titan mode playing single player for some reason. I don't know. For some reason, I guess EA decided to set it up like that rather than allow you to select your own game mode when you decide to play against bots. But that's going to be it for this episode. I actually talked longer than I thought I would. And I do have to remember to go and lower the game audio because it is quite loud. Because, well, Bandicam, the way it recorded it, is that the game audio is very loud. And so I'll have to adjust it for all the sections in which I am talking. But after I finish talking, I'll let it go back up to its normal volume, which means, be warned, it may be quite loud. I may lower it a little bit still there, but for the most part I think I'll keep it as is. But that's going to be it for this video. I've talked about everything I need to talk about and kind of went off topic a couple times, I think. I really should probably go and make a normal script for these, but I just don't see a point half the time. Because it takes a little while for me to write up a script. And of course, if I read word for word from the script, it's just going to sound very machine-like in the way I talk. So it's not really my cup of tea. But yeah, that's going to be it. I mentioned everything I had on my little, all the little bullet points I had on this little notepad that I have here in front of me. And so that's going to be it for this video. As always, I should also actually mention this. I will probably have some actual Battlefield 2142 against actual players in the future. I don't know when. It depends on when I feel comfortable to go and actually play the game against players. But I will probably have some nonetheless. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, goodbye and farewell.
Hostile walking. Medic! I need backup!
Жить будешь, иди в строй.
Hit your parachute key to deploy the parachute.
I need a ride! Understood. Enemy gunship! Enemy gunship! Enemy gunship! Enemy gunship! Repairs needed here. We regained the upper hand. Well done. Enemy gunship!
This vehicle can step over some small obstacles that other vehicles cannot. Backup needed. Enemy vehicle spotted. This vehicle has active defense countermeasures available.